wabarakatuh. So today I'll be cutting a ninja hijab, and these are the materials I'll be working with: my tape measure, my chalk, my ruler, my French cuff, and my scissors. So the measurement I'll be working with are the face circumference, the length of the hijab, and the width of the hijab at the base. So to start with, first off, I'm going to chalk out the length of my hijab. The length of my hijab, the total length I'll be working with is 20 inches, but before that I'm going to chalk out 18 inches. 18 inches. So at this part, I'll mark out my 18 inches and 18 inches at this point. So I'll use my straight ruler to connect my lines, and after that I'll mark out a straight line here to serve as my measuring guide. So I'll do that and show you. So these are my markings, and this is where I'll be taking all my measurements from this line. So the first thing to do now is to mark out the base of my hijab. So the base of the hijab is 16 inches. So I'll chalk that out. This is 16 inches. Then from this point I'll mark out 10 inches. That's my face circumference, 10 inches, and I'll use my straight ruler to connect to form a straight line, 10 inches. So this is my 10 inches. So that 10 inches, I'm going to divide it by 2. So that means from this point is going to be, from this point I'll mark out 5 inches. So 5 inches from here to here and 5 inches from here to here. This is the 5 inch, and from this point I'll mark out 2 inches. 2 inches. Then I'll use my French curve to connect this point to this point and here to this point to form a curve for the face opening. So I'm going to connect it like this and like this. So I'll make sure the line is very prominent. It's prominent enough. So this is for the face circumference, and from this point of 5 inches, then from this point I'll mark out 8 inches. 8 inches from the curve, from where the curve starts from. That's where I'll mark out 8 inches. So 8 inches. Then this 8 inches, I'll connect it to this point, the head of my ruler. I'll form a straight line. So from this point I'll make sure I find the center. So I'll mark out the same 8 inches I marked out here. So from that I'll look for the center, which is 4 inches. So from the 4 inches I'll go up by 2 inches. 2 inches. So that's why I said the total length of the hijab will be 20 inches, but I marked out 18 inches from here to here plus this. That will make it 20 inches. So I'll use my French curve to also connect this point to this point and this point to this point. So from here I'll connect it to this point, and this will Before I go on, to make the hijab more curvy, this will be like the neck part. So the 10 inches I marked out here, don't forget I measure out 10 inches from ear to ear, from ear to ear. So from this point I'll mark out another 10 inches if I want the hijab to be more curvy at this part. So that's what I'll connect this point to this point, and I'll connect this point to this point to make it more curvy. So I can use a straight ruler from ear to ear. Then I'll curve it out. So I'll cut this out. So after cutting out my markings, the next thing now is to find the center of this base. I marked out 16 inches, so the midpoint will be 8 inches. So this is the midpoint. So from this point, I'll mark out 1 inch from this edge, 1 inch here, and another 1 inch here. So I'll connect this from this point to this point, and from this point to this point, to give me a curvy edge. I'll do the same thing for this part. Now cut that out too. So I'll take this to my machine. I'll sew this line up to this part, and I'll join this part too. So this will serve as the face opening. Then I can connect, I'll cut a cap, jab cap, then I'll connect it to this point. I'll come back to show you the final outcome. Let me show you the cutting of the cap. So I'll fold the remaining fabric into two, then I'll fold it into two again. I'll make sure it's up to 10 inches on this line, because the face circumference I marked out there is 10 inches. So I'll make sure this one too is 10 inches. Is enough. So I'll mark out 10 inches from ear to ear. 10 inches. And from ear to ear, I'll mark out 3.5 inches. 3 inches. So I'll use my straight ruler to connect my lines, my markings. Make sure the line is prominent enough. So I'll put that up. Then I'll notch this part. Then this is where I'll connect it like this. After joining this, then I'll join the cap, this part I notched, to the part, to the side, to where the joining start from. And then my ninja hijab is ready. I'll go and sew it and come back to show you the final outcome. So this is the final look of the hijab. After stitching this part together, I connected the cap and I top stitched it to make it lay flat. Then I joined this part, after which I hemmed the edges.